Hey, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Yes, it's very early for me to be doing any live and interactive streams, but I am doing it to report the news, something I normally don't do. But this is a case that I've been following, and I do have some mixed feelings about it. Brittney Griner has apparently, the WNBA player that was imprisoned in Russia, you probably know the story if you're watching this, and she has been apparently traded for this, if I'm saying his name properly, Vitor. Uh, Sorry, I'm forgetting his last name already, but Vitor, the merchant of death arms dealer. So there's also another American that's apparently been left out of this prisoner exchange. Wheeland, Mr. Wheeland, I believe, and at one point, Biden administration was hoping to get a 2-for-1, Wheeland and Brittney, for this merchant of death, and apparently that has been renegotiated for just a one-on-one prisoner swap. Look, folks, I'm not a political pundit. I'm just a guy with opinions like yourself, or a woman with opinions, if you happen to be a woman. If you want to make a comment or a statement about your feelings on all this, please do, and so on and so forth. But for me, I wonder if we got the better end of the deal here. I mean, Brittany really serves no threat to the world as this Vitor guy does. This merchant of death arms dealer seems like more of potential to injure and kill people on our side of things, meaning the United States or North America in general, uh, and other countries. And Brittany is a basketball player. And, no offense to Brittany or anything she's gone through. I know she's suffered through a lot. I don't really know if there was this public outcry for her freedom, as maybe the Biden administration felt there was, or, I know people like Stephen A. Smith and so forth have been very much to advocate, but a lot of people have really felt apathetic about it, to be honest with you. And I kind of see it as both ways. Brittany was very critical of the United States, uh, for the last couple of years with the national anthem and the WNBA. She's been very outspoken about feeling the need to play basketball in Russia because she needs more money, because the WNBA players are not paid as much as the male NBA players. My simple take on that is uh, fill those uh, fill those arenas and you get more people. Let's see what Adam has to say. The bigger picture here is now it sets up a Nick Cage movie sequel. Nice. Good point, Adam. I mean, this is drama. This is drama. I mean, look, there's so many elements to this. First of all, on a human level, I am glad that she's out. I don't think that anyone, for having some cannabis oil, deserves to be in a penal colony. I don't think her having an opinion, or her having an opinion different from mine or maybe from others about the national anthem, doesn't deserve to be serving hard time in a Russian penal colony. I do feel like, watching some of her interviews from the past, she did have a certain level of arrogance that made her a tinge unlikable, to be honest with you, just from my perspective. But then there was other things about her that I thought were likable. She always felt different. She always felt alienated as a kid. Her father apparently was not very supportive of her lesbianic status. And despite all that, she became a success in life, to an extent, or to a big extent, with basketball. So she might be a little convoluted in her thinking. Apparently, she thought that she was good enough to play in the men's NBA at one point. She may have learned how to sew. Could come in handy if she has a jersey rip. A good point, and it'd be interesting, buddy, if we ever see Brittney Griner on the arena floor again. Here's a question for you, and I'm just prognosticating, but if Brittney is to have a comeback tour with the WNBA, would those arenas sell out? Like, would the Brittney Griner comeback tour, would that put asses in seats, as our buddy Tony Schiavone would say, Adam? Because I don't know if anything can really, make people sell out those WNBA arenas. And when people get defensive about the WNBA or the women making more money or whatever, I ask those people, have you ever bought a ticket to the WNBA? Can you name 5 WNBA players? Can you name a team in the WNBA? I mean, and not to be, well, that's just kind of it. I mean, I think a lot of people who maybe, what are the terms here, buddy? Virtue signaling and so forth. But do you watch the games? And I've tried to watch the games. And to be honest with you, it's tough because they don't get the ball in the fucking basket a whole lot. So, I mean, score, you get some shots in, and I'd be more interested in watching. Just to be brutally honest, it would be like a women's wrestling pay per view, not a draw. Actually, I'd probably watch the women's wrestling pay per view. I watched the NWA one, the National Wrestling Alliance, from not from this 2022, but from 2021, I believe, which Mickey James promoted. I enjoyed it, so I'll say that, buddy. But yeah, the other thing here is we have this whole thing with this Russian. I'm not too happy about the Merchant of Death back on the streets, to be honest with you. I mean, to me, that's a little bit scary. And I mean, to me, this is a trade that would Herbert Hoover or Ronald Reagan or someone like that have made. I don't know. I mean, this seems like a very touchy feely type of prisoner trade. In other words, more with emotion than with intellect. Like I said, I think the biggest deal for me is that this Russian arms trader Vitor is more of a threat to people's livelihoods, to people's lives, than Brittney. I don't think Brittney is much of a threat, and I'm not saying she should be. I'm just saying that if you're going to talk this prisoner swap deal, these are the ramifications. What are the ramifications for the rest of us? And I think, based on the stuff that I watch on YouTube, and look, I know my feed is polluted with wrestling stuff and all types of different opinions and talking heads. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know if there was a huge feeling or there wasn't a cohesive feeling that we needed to get this woman out of prison because it meant so much to all of us. I really don't think that there was, to be honest with you. There was a lot of people who said, good, she deserves it. Yeah, sounds like a trade with Russia is like a hero for a zero, Brit being a zero. Yeah, a hero on their end, that is. Yes, just to clarify, not a hero for us, but he did serve 9 years, apparently. Vitor served 9 years, and maybe they emasculated him. Maybe they took the arms dealer mentality out of him. Maybe they gave sensitivity training to Vitor in those 9 years. Maybe they put him in a purple room or a pink room for 9 years and had him play with Care Bears and Teddy Ruxpin. So they've softened the edges on Vitor, and now he's a perfectly good trade. The other thing, Adam, that I think people are going to get irate about, at least the people that I watch on YouTube, the Wheeland, I'm sorry, I don't remember his full name. He was like an American, like, hero type. He was like a real American doing stuff, and he's kind of been, as far as we know, left out of this trade. So I mean that's kind of one of those deals. Like, why did she take priority over him? And I think the answer is because of her celebrity status. And I think a lot of folks, once again, and like I said, we all have different skewed algorithms in our YouTube feeds. But I think, a lot of people feel that I've seen, at least, that Brittney is the recipient of favoritism because of her celebrity status. And if you or I, Adam, for some reason went to Russia and for some reason had some cannabis oil and for some reason ended up with a god awful sentence, would they care about us? Well, they probably, I don't know. You tell me, Adam. I don't know, buddy. So I think this thing is the trickle down effect is going to be interesting. I mean, this is the year, I think we're still in the calendar year where we saw the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. We've seen a bunch of interesting things happen this year. Celebrities passing away left and right. Kirstie Alley just passed away, which was sad. Of course, Adam, we're as wrestling fans, we know that our buddy Barry Windham there just suffered a heart attack. I think he's still in the ICU. I did have a nice tribute rant to him a few nights ago. That's it. So, how do I feel about this? I don't know. I think this was, I think, like, you may agree, Adam. I think if you take the emotion out of it, yes, I'm happy for her as an individual. I'm very happy for her. And maybe this is a sign that there's some possibilities for a better relationship with the U.S. and Russia, at least temporarily. Perhaps this is a step in the right direction for peace and all that. But as far as an actual deal goes, we did not get the deal we wanted, uh, or at least the people in charge wanted a 2-for-1, and they got the 1-for-1. So I mean, advantage Putin, advantage Russia. I don't see us as winning this round. But for Brittany herself, and once again, sad for Wheeland and his family that he's left out of this thing. Maybe there'll be a follow-up deal. Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll let out another minister of war to get him out, to get Wheeland out. Who knows? But um, I think Putin and his people have won this one, and I hope that Brittany, in some way, look, I think a lot of people probably think this, and it's a little deranged thinking. It's a little mean thinking. But will Brittany have a little bit of humbleness now? Will she be eating a little bit of humble pie? Will she be kissing babies and driving a Chevrolet and saluting the American flag and demanding that the national anthem of the United States be played everywhere she goes? Or will she uh, somehow blame the country for not getting her out sooner, or she somehow, we'll find out. I mean, I think that how could you not be humbled after this horrible, god awful experience? But at the same time, it's not up for me or anybody else to condemn this lady or to punish her. We're not the judge and jury. That apparently was the Russians. So I don't know, folks. Mixed feelings, like I said. I'm glad for her. I don't think she deserved to suffer that fate. But I think some of the circumstances that she put herself in. I mean, look, I don't go to Russia to play basketball. I don't go to Russia to write screenplays. I mean, I think that's just a careless error. I don't really go to other countries, Adam. Because I have enough problems in this one, so I'm not going to be traveling around the world looking for problems because I get enough problems at home. But that's just me. Other people might be different. So Brittney Griner, hail, hail, USA. She's home, blah, blah, blah. And we can all go about our business. But that's it. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Um, God in heaven. My books, of course, A Distance from Avalon. Look at that, Adam. It's so nice. Have you ordered your copy, Adam, in hardcover as of yet? You might be saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, I'm really not a fiction reader. Well, here's my nonfiction book, my film book with the long title, Art and War of Directing Student Low and No Budget Movies by me, more or less. So feast on my writing. Okay, folks, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, MikeMessier.com. Goodbye.